Aloha kakahiaka. Good morning. It's Wednesday, August 23rd at 8 a.m. in Maui, Hawaii. And guys, we are in a new transit. So this past like 6 or 7 days, I can't exactly remember how many days it was, between 6 and 7 days. But we were exploring, man, what were we exploring? Oh my gosh, I'm having such a brain fart right now. It was gate 30 and gate was it 4 and 30. Ajna is 29 and 30. That's what it was. That was 4 and 41. It's really interesting to see how these gates pair up. So yeah, so if you're feeling a shift, at some point early this morning, we shifted from gates in the sacral and a gate in the solar plexus. 29 in the sacral, 30 in the solar plexus, and now we are in 59, which is also in the sacral, and gate 55, which is also in the solar plexus. So it's still a sacral solar plexus kind of week. Yay! See the pain on my face. No,
I love sacral solar plexus weeks.
I know. I love it too. It's not, it's there's some days during the transits where I get to actually still be a reflector, which is awesome. And all the other times, my circuitry is much more manifesting generator-esque, which doesn't necessarily mean I have a lot of energy, although the drive there is sometimes, and the expectation is there sometimes, which is, to reiterate with the transits, this doesn't change or program you in a different way. It's just like clothes. It's just like a layer of energy that is draped over you, and it's either going to homogenize you, it's either going to Mr. Smith stick its hand in you and transform you into it and pull you further away from yourself, or you're going to be aware of it by tuning into the show here, and you're going to be like Neo and be able to resist that homogenizing effort and that let's just make everyone gray energy. And it's not necessarily that the planet is trying to do this so much as society as a whole just picks this up. So currently Sun is in gate 59, which is dispersion, sexuality, the ability to break down barriers and achieve union. And the Earth is in gate 55, abundance, spirit, abundance being strictly a question of spirit. And because we are starting off with the transits this morning, we're in the first line of those. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and read out of the Rave I Ching. And Luke, are you able to bring the I Ching?
Oh yeah.
Through? Oh yay! It's just like old times. Luke is in New Mexico, right? New Mexico right now, visiting family, and your kung fu master.
Yep.
So all
I'm
right,
here staring at the Sandias.
what's the Sandias?
Sandias is the mountain range here.
Ah,
Yeah. It's the same elevation as like Haleakala.
really?
Pretty cool. Yeah, it's like 10,000 feet at the top.
Wow. Okay, that's tall. The
Yep.
mountains are crazy. Like the fact that we in Hawaii here, we just live on like the side of a volcano in the middle of the ocean is
This
just
blows my
like,
mind.
it blows my mind, dude. I'm like, why would we choose to live here? Oh yeah, because it's fucking awesome here. All right. So let's read 59, line 1. It's the preemptive strike. The exaltation is the authority and vitality that in understanding purpose and direction can recognize and eliminate barriers before they become impregnable. The power of fertility to impregnate. In detriment, we have in this position the ability and intelligence to recognize but a deep indecisiveness about how and when to act. The potential of fertility limited by uncertainty. So that was kind of a theme in the last one, 29, which was also in the sacral, being about like, having the drive and having the knowing of like, oh, I'm about to pull up, I'm about to do this thing. Whereas that one was about persevering and seeing things through. This one is about breaking barriers down, and that seems to be a again, a theme in the sacral of like the sacral gives you the hit, and the uh, but there's uncertainty. There's that mind, out of it that pulls us out of it. So yeah, let's and we're just again, we're just investigating right now. It's the first line. So I always think about it, it's kind of like first line is like dipping the toe in, right?
Yeah.
And then by the second line, it's kind of like, all right, now we're fully submerged. And then the third line is like, let's go underwater. And then the fourth line is like, let's invite all of our friends in. And then the fifth line is like, let's get out and cheat during Marco Polo. And then the sixth line is showing people how to dive into the pool. I just made that up right now.
That's great. I love it.
Yeah. Well, all right, Luke, what do you got for us on the I Ching?
Okay. So I found this online. This is divination.com. Line 1 is, in all significant undertakings, it is critical that dissension can be handled quickly. Misunderstandings and feuds that are allowed to linger and fester can rapidly develop into open wounds that affect an entire community or project. Conflicts caused by hidden factors need to be brought to light and dissolved as soon as possible to avoid further arguments and wasted energy. Once this is done, good fortune awaits. So yeah, this one, I mean, this one's called dispersing. Yeah. It's like investigating any open wounds that may be there and dissolving them. That's what I'm getting from this one.
Yeah, and the whole like this being one of the sexuality gates, it's like the goal of breaking down the barriers is to achieve union. And so sometimes the last thing that wants to happen is like, oh, we got to have that tough conversation about this thing. And again, it's because it's a transit, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're supposed to do that. Again, follow your strategy and authority, but the energy is available for, again, investigating that open wound and to eliminate the barriers before they become impregnable. So like, I always use this example and I still have yet to do it. While the cane is smaller, pull out the smaller cane grass before it becomes really big cane grass, before it becomes like a problem. And again, with the transits, using this as the awareness to again, further distinguish oneself in the sense that, it's not that it would be a bad idea to go and start doing this and putting this preemptive strike into effect. You just have to make sure that it's not counter to your gut, and that your mind is like, oh, let's do this. And your gut is like, or your authority is like, there's no invitation, or there's nothing really to initiate, or it's a big deal. So as a reflector, wait a little bit longer to see if the problem doesn't handle itself. But yeah, the big piece of it is understanding that it's fertile right now.
Yeah.
But have seeds, plant seeds, right? And weed the garden. I don't necessarily think weeding a garden is ever like a bad idea, so much as it's like, as long as it's not taking away from like feeding your baby or doing something like that.
Yeah.
Which exactly. Just now I'm like, I have that illusion of like, oh, if I weed the garden, then I'm not working feeding my baby. But if I'm not weeding the garden, then she's also gonna like not be able to play around in the garden to play around. So anyway, let's move on to gate 55, unless you have something else on that, Luke.
No, that's pretty much it for that. That's cool. Straightforward.
Yeah, pretty simple. So gate 55, abundance, spirit. Abundance is strictly a question of spirit. So this is fun because I actually have gate 39, which reaches up towards gate 55. And before I move on to this, I think Mars is in gate 6, which is the pairing gate for gate 59. And so currently the entire channel of sexuality and of mating is actually on right now. So if there's like a heightened sexual energy or like an emotional energy that's moving in tandem with the sexual energy or with the sacral energy, again, know that the transits. And if you have this and it's already on in your chart and it's on in the transits, again, some people say you won't feel it as much, and I say that as you might feel it extra. But anyway, so gate 55. So again, important to know if these transits define your anything. Oh, there he is. Look at that.
Hey, what's that?
It says that explains a few things. Yeah, so this, again, that transit ends in a couple days. So then it will just be a hanging gate in the transit. But again, it's important to know if you have these transits active in your natal chart, or if you have the parent gate like I do. I have 39. So this whole week, my provoking is actually going to be provoking abundance. Like there's going to be something, a wall for me to provoke against. But anyway, gate 55, line 1, cooperation, which is the expansion of activity through cooperation with power forces through principled actions that guarantee continued support and engendered prosperity. The potential to find the spirit through cooperation with powerful forces. Detriment is the concentration on harmonic relationships with powerful forces that provide for continuity, but not necessarily advancement. So that's the potential to harmonize with powerful forces, but not necessarily for the benefit of spirit. So we're talking literally about harmonization and cooperation for the benefit of spirit, and harmonization benefit of maybe yourself or selfishness. But the theme is cooperation.
Interesting. I feel like since it's in the investigative line, that's why it hasn't progressed to the abundance for like the greater self or outside the individual. Because when you first stumble upon abundance, like it's like, well, how can I have this for myself?
Right. You have to move through those kind of initial, I got to take care of myself first. And that's like someone could be like, how could you be so selfish? But it's like, how could you not think about how it would benefit you? Right. If you don't even yourself. And Lakota have this tradition, which I don't know if we've talked about this, Luke, but Lakota have a tradition where they used to, they would observe the dude that was always helping people, right? Eager to help people, but never receiving help. He would never accept help. And what they would do with that person is they would, bring them into a council and they would tell them, hey, you're not anybody. Have to learn how to receive help, because someone that is giving help but not receiving help is not actually giving help, right? There's a disconnect in there. And same thing for the person who is always receiving help but never giving help. And it's one of those things where it's impossible to healthily consider others if you're not also considering yourself, and vice versa. If you're always considering yourself and not considering others, that's not necessarily helpful for the tribe as well either. So yeah, what do we got from the I Ching?
Yeah, well, I imagine in the abundance in this gate too, we're going to go through like a whole phase with like investigative, finding it, holding it for itself through the hermit phase, then maybe like stumbling in the martyr phase of like, oh, I spent my money and now I only have so much left, or I spent my abundance, and that keep going like through the opportunities and then role model and everything. So let's see here. Line 1 in 55. To facilitate an experience of abundance, bring a mixture of energy and vision. This combination often comes from two people who are joining together in an effort, project, or relationship. Indications are that they're well matched and their partnership is well founded. This line indicates that the timing is good for a partnership, and that can help you advance to the top. Good fortune awaits you. So this is feels like it's connected to like even what's going on with the Sun Gate over here we were talking about earlier.
Say that again.
Marco, you still there?
Hello? Yeah, I was talking to TikTok people. I didn't want to interrupt you because they're like, what's going on?
Nice.
I was like, get over to Discord, dang it.
Nice.
Honey
That's
reminded
awesome.
me. What were you saying though? Is it related to the last Sun Gate? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it feels like it. Yeah, it feels like it relates to the Sun Gate that we're in right now. Like these go hand in hand with each other. Because of what I was reading here.
Them is awesome.
Yeah, the pairing, exactly. like this saying here that just this combination often comes from two people who are joining together in effort, project, or relationship. So it seems, yeah,
Mhm.
it just seems very connected to also what's going on over here with the Sun Gate in 59.
And it's kind of really interesting how, like, since you've been gone, I can't breathe for the
For the
first time.
first time.
Uh, no, but like this is the first time it's like, hey, let's and do our thing again. And so I don't think haven't we done it like this before?
No, not from two different places.
Yeah, this is cooperation. And what is it? The preemptive strike. I wonder what the preemptive strike is about.
Preemptive.
The cooperation makes a lot of sense of finding spirit through cooperation because
Mm-hmm.
I've been missing you, bro. I've been
Easy,
really
bro.
appreciating having my own space and all that, but definitely been missing our vibes and just cruising the way that we do, running and busting missions, like random missions. Because now I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'd love to do that, and then I'm like, I definitely do not have energy to go do that. So, uh, so,
I feel the
but yeah,
same, bro. You mentioned, before, or it was either you or Kai. I think it was Kai. That was like, just see how different it feels to be back, like in my like this old energy per se, but like in the
yeah,
city where I used to live, and I'm like, whoa. It's just my life has changed so much in a year. Coming back here, I'm
yeah,
like, damn, the energy is very different, especially in the desert and just all the people
yeah,
that I'm like seeing and interacting with, and it's wild how much can change in 1 year.
dude. I'm so grateful you moved out here. I'm kind
Oh
of
God,
I don't. I
so
think I
ready to
told
be
you
back.
already. I know. I think I told you I'm going to Convergence and going to San
Yeah.
Diego on the 20th. Um, so again, you're going to be in charge. You'll have a little bit of time to just be here on your own and just cruise and uh, yeah, and then we'll be back and we'll be cruising from there for probably a little while. Um, but just so much, so much shifting and adapting, and that's one thing that I'm looking at in terms of being very mindful about what transits lead up to that trip for myself. And this is how I'm
Mhm.
starting to plan. Whereas, I used to plan of like making a list of all the things that I was going to bring. I'm still going to do that. But now, actually, today I was planning on, kind of like writing down what gates we're going to transit through up to the 20th, what time I'm going to, or what gate I'm going to be traveling in, what gate I'm going to be transiting in while the transits are going, and then my time in San Diego, and then also looking at the transit for the dates of convergence, and again, just
Mm.
looking at this as a way of like, again, anticipating weather and not necessarily being surprised, because nature seems to be very, but she moves in these like um she moves in these rhythms. And I actually watched a video. Avatar Isaac posted something in the general chat. Let's see actually if he posted it in the 2027 chat. 2027 predictions. He did. So if y'all go to here, I'll put it here in the chat. Um, oh wait, no, copy link, copy message link. Here, I'll put it here in the chat. This video, this guy talks about these like 80-year blocks of society moving through, off with like this high golden age, and then moving into this what was the second age? Um, like a silver age basically, and in the high age it's like we had like Elvis and Buddy Holly and all this like beautiful stuff. The American dream was popping off, and then in the silver age, things weren't not necessarily as gold. And then we went into this like unraveling, and that's when it's like Wu-Tang Clan came out, and musicians started rapping about violence and all this crazy stuff. And then the age that we're in now, or the parallel as compared to this last 80-year block, was like like basically a bunch of wars started, and so
Right.
it always starts and ends with a war, and our 80-year block, you know, in terms of generation. Maybe just watch the video because I'm kind of like totally destroying it, but that's not long. It's like 7 or 8 minutes, but it's a really good perspective outside of human design, um, that is that is totally in line with human design and the rave
Mm.
mandala, and the 2027 being this, you know, end of an end of an age of planning, more start of a new age. And it makes sense why we're seeing, like, you know, Maui burning and all this like chaos that's brewing up, because we're in the midst of this crisis. And so basically what he was saying is that these blocks go in like around 80-year cycles, which is about the
Yeah.
length of a human life. And so one of the things that he mentioned in there kind of casually was like the the children that are born during this like last block, this last little crisis of this current block, they're going to be the heroes, or the the savants or the prophets of the golden age that's coming next. You know, so it's like my daughter, Adam's kids, all the children up until 2027. Ultimately, you know, it's a gradient. But the children being born right now are going to grow into what he would call prophets of the high age, and what I would call, you know, they are the kind of like saviors in a way of the golden era. So they're able to, you know, be born within the crisis and then grow
Yeah.
up such a way that this next age that we're coming into, again, that's, and I look at my daughter already like that. Like, you're going to inspire so many people, and you are going to help so many people. And I do my best not to like project too much on her, because she's fucking only like 10
9 months
months
old.
old. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
like just gonna be 10 months old pretty soon.
That's crazy.
But yeah, man, so it's fun to,
So is
again,
2027 the start of the next 80-year block?
yeah. Well, he said it was
Um,
2028, but same shit, you know. It's like his calculations
Same thing.
are estimated, whereas Ra's calculations, I feel like, are more accurate, because he's looking at, you know,
Mm.
sidereal astrology, which was an interesting video. I came upon that whole like sidereal human design, and I was like, oh, what the hell is this? And then I watched a video that Prana sent me. Maybe he could share it here. He shared it in his Facebook group, and it just totally destroyed the validity of like, oh, we're supposed to use sidereal astrology to calculate our birth charts and get our human design. It's like, no, actually, Ra already has a place for sidereal astrology, and it's in this like bigger rave mandala that is relevant to 2027 and moving through these incarnation crosses in these big blocks. So
Mm.
just wanted to throw that out there. Maybe I'll try and find the video and share it. But it's the same guy who did the whole state of human design, which, you know, there's a certain energy and distinction between people that were like trained by Ra and have the like source codes alive within them, and the next generation like myself, who are kind of like self-taught, or we read a book. There's a distinct quality, and you know, I'm really grateful for Prada kind of being this you know, not necessarily an elder himself, but at least an access point to some of those elders that I can kind of like drink from that pool, because
Yeah.
you know, this new generation, we're really good at marketing the message, but there's also a lot of shit that we fuck up, thinking that we know it all, or not necessarily wanting to go at the pace that the generation um, before us went at. So yeah, it's fun. There's a lot of new advancements that are built on top of, again, this source material, that I'm really excited that we have a pretty solid team moving forward, that can like people that can check me, you know, like yourself, like Prana, all the moderators I know can check me as well. But I know you don't want to because I'm so good-hearted, but sometimes I mess up, especially because I'm a third line. Um,
Martyr.
and martyr baby, martyr vibes. What's going on in the chat over here? Watch out for the 59-6 in transits now. Fertility and pregnancies occur in this transit. Yep.
That is why
Yep.
I am celibate. No babies
like,
right now.
No babies right now. It's like not the right time.
Not the right time.
Not the right time. Yeah, not the right woman.
The one.
So, yep. The one. Man, I'm like, I just want to pimp you out, but also I want to keep you away from potential suitors because you're such a good dude, bro. You're such a good dude. Whichever woman is lucky enough to be wooed by you, it's a lucky lady. That's a lucky lady.
That's a lucky lady.
Yep. That's a lucky lady. All right. Well, let's see. Anything else to add on the transits here from anybody? I think I'm good.
Feeling pretty good. I'm gonna go look for some shoes in Plato's closet. Your boy only came out to the desert with slippers.
Do some thrifting, baby.
Get some thrift.
I'm excited to like go back to San Diego and like see all my old clothes and do that whole bit.
I know.
All right, cool. So we're gonna end it here. Tomorrow we will drop into line 2, and then one more announcement before we go. There's an event happening on Thursday, which is tomorrow. So there's an event happening tomorrow. Prana and I are doing an AMA, which is basically like a Q&A, just here on Discord. I actually don't know what AMA stands for, but anyway, we're doing a Q&A. Okay. We're doing an Ask Me Anything. There we go. Thanks, guys. We're doing an Ask Me Anything on Thursday at 11 Pacific Standard Time. And so feel free to get on. Feel free to tell people if you want to invite them. Again, open invitation to invite anyone to this Discord as long as they're cool. Because if they're not cool, I'll be pissed off. No, I don't care how cool they are. I just care that they follow the rules and that they see what's going on and they don't try and hijack it. So 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Ask Me Anything. Man, I've been seeing AMAs for a long time, and I guess that's cooler than Q&A, right? People don't like the letter Q anymore, or what?
No, it's too related to QAnon.
I know it's a conspiracy theories. So anyway, I think the what's it called? I think the event will adjust it to your time zone.
Yeah, it should within the app.
It should within the app. I did put 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I could put some other options in there, but anyway, big love to you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to evolve and awaken, and we will see you tomorrow. Aloha.
Aloha. Peace.